Hi, Jinjer fans. Welcome back. So that last video was something else, wasn't it? Mediator. So, the song and video was incredible, obviously. And I've done the Vortex reaction too, which is also an amazing song. But to top it off, to find out that the actual official Jinjer YouTube channel shared my reaction video in their stories, the day after. I think it was the day after I released that video. And then I also found out that Eugene from the band also shared the video on his Instagram stories. So like it was just insane to me, to see a screenshot of Eugene that obviously had taken a screenshot of my video and he'd got a little thumbs up on it, and recommending it as a, what was it he called it, a manual to the song, like an instruction manual. It was insane. I think I got like a couple of screenshots or little videos or whatever. So maybe as I'm talking about this, I'll stick them up in the corner, because obviously if it's in a little story feed, I actually didn't even know YouTube had a stories feature until somebody commented in the video saying that, they had added it. It seemed to be that you could only access that from the smartphone. Whenever I looked on the desktop, you click the avatar and nothing happened. I think there was one or two people mentioning in the comments there that they couldn't see it. So I dutifully got on there quickly. It's also nice on Instagram. I do have an Instagram account and a Facebook account for JW Soundworks, but typically, I don't really share an awful lot on them. With the Instagram one, it's primarily, me playing bits of guitar, piano, and classical things and all that there. I haven't really used it too much. I think a few people have sent me messages on Instagram. I don't really check the messages, to be honest with you. There's so many comments and stuff on YouTube that it's a bit much really to get sort of personal private messages and stuff like that. So apologies if I don't get to them. It's just because there's quite a lot come through and I just don't have the time to go through them all. It's quite insane the amount of, because it's not only a case of when you put a new video out, sometimes you get a lot of people commenting on it, but there's people still commenting on previous videos, that they're obviously going through the videos and following different bits there, so it's, but anyway. So yeah, it was nice to see that, it was a big boost to actually get sort of confirmation from the band that, that they're sort of approving of what my opinions are, so that's just insane to me, like, so really appreciate it. Okay, so moving the Jinjer journey forward, who is going to be the one live? This is the next one up. And yeah, I know as soon as I put this up, it'll be react to Ape and react to this and that. I know, like, they're all coming, they're coming. I'm also working on something Jinjer related at the moment. I don't want to give too much away, but I've been working on something Jinjer related. That, I'm kind of thinking, a bit of a milestone would be nice to put out. So we get the likes of 10,000 subscribers or something like that. It would be cool. So anyway, right. So without further ado, let's get to this then. After 3, 2, 1, go. Wow. Okay, so I have to check. Hang on, I didn't actually have a look to see the date on this one. 2017. Okay, so it's 4 years ago now. Sorry, a bit slow on the uptake there. Bring that back up again. Um, yeah, this one's really cool as well. Like it's nice to see. It's nice to do the odd live one. To get the feel of the band live. Most of the videos I think at this point of all of the ones I've done, apart from maybe one being, no, I've done two live ones. I think. Sorry, it's hard to keep track. Quite a few Jinjer ones at this point now, but most of them are all the official songs, the official videos, and heavily layered and so on. This one really, really stripped back. My memory is that from the previous, I know there was a perennial one that I heard live. Um, I've forgotten the name of the other one that I did live. Sorry. Um, I'll link it above. But on those, I seem to recall hearing bits of backing tracks and so on live, particularly with the vocals, which is fine, it's not a problem. It's just an observation. This one here, nothing jumped out to me there. It sounded extremely raw. This, like if you went to, a bar or whatever and watched a band playing, this felt extremely stripped back, and I really loved that. In terms of the style of the song, it felt a lot more straight ahead. Um, than a lot of the other ones that I've heard so far, with the exception, I guess, of that outro section, which really, it's like another song. Apart from that, it sort of sat in itself quite a lot. I still really enjoyed it. It probably wasn't my favorite one, because I'm kind of used to the sort of more epic journeys, them going through a lot more of the sort of clean choruses and then mixing everything up time signature wise, so I still really enjoyed it, don't get me wrong. Just compared to some of their other offerings so far, it wouldn't be my favorite one of the songs that I've listened to so far. But what I really did love about it was it's a perfect example of how that even with all that stuff stripped out, we just go with a more sort of basic setup, should we say, a lot more straightforward. The band sounds incredibly killer live, you know, um, every member is superb. So some things that jumped out to me there, I guess, was it's nice to see some of the two-handed tapping from Eugene, I love the way that he's incorporating that, and playing for the song, obviously, because when you hone your craft on the instrument and you spend time getting better at sort of more technical technique kind of things, you know, it is tempting to kind of shoehorn those in to your compositions. Going, listen, I can do this, so it'd be nice to stick this little sweep in here, or tapping thing. Tapping usually on a guitar is, the Van Halen type thing. It's usually to kind of show off. But I like it whenever musicians incorporate those more traditionally virtuosic elements of their playing into the song and incorporate it into the song. To me, the tapping element of that was not in any way showy. It was just to get the tone of the fingers on the neck. It sounded like more like an expression to me, as opposed to I've got space here to stick a little tapping thing in. I really appreciate that because there's a lot of taste involved. It's consideration on how to get more expression out of your instrument instead of just showing off. It doesn't surprise me because I've never heard anything remotely close to that from this band. Even in the drums, the most obvious virtuosic element would be the drummer, because Vlad's drumming is just. I mean, I've spoken to drummers since doing these, professional drummers I know, and they had not listened to Jinjer before I'd said, "Here, check Jinjer out," and they come back and you know surprise, surprise, drummers talk about drummers. But I'm not a drummer. I'll play better drums, obviously, but I'm not a drummer. I'm talking about the drummer. So Vlad's elite level. They are all elite level, but I guess what I'm trying to say is it's more obviously on display in the songs. Vlad's drumming. He's not just sitting doing this. Even though he could just sit back and do that. He does have a lot of busyness in his playing, but again, within levels of taste. It's interesting to me that how you could play something so overtly virtuosic, case in hand to drumming, and still not feel like you're taking anything away from the song. I mean, we're talking like fine levels of artistry there. That's like not to be sort of too over the top about it, but um, if you think of like a painting or something like that, and by one of the greats, and just putting a particular color in there and just ruining everything because your eyes drawn to that instead of the overall picture. Painting, that's what we're talking about here is the song, and if any one of those elements becomes too dominant in everything, then everything to me starts to lose balance within a composition because you're starting to veer towards that thing. And yes, while it might be impressive to hear somebody playing impressively, it's not more important than the song. So I think he's kind of managed to find a level where he can push things to pretty much a breaking point where, maybe any more, and it might be more listening to a drummer playing over a song than listening to a drummer playing within a song. I think he's one of the closest I can think of that, manages to get so much in, but you're still hearing Tatiana, you're still hearing Eugene tapping, you're still hearing Roman. So it's insane. They've really landed on their feet with that guy. I mean, not to take anything away from any of the rest of the band, I love them all, but drummers in particular, it's hard to find really, really good drummers that are not already snapped up in some other band. And Vlad isn't a good drummer. He has to be one of the best drummers in the world right now. Let's be honest. And I know there's jazz and jazz fusion guys and all, and some of those might scoff. Some people in those elite circles kind of scoff at metal drummers or whatever. But anybody that I know who's worth their salt has an open mind as a musician. Doesn't matter, regardless of genre. You don't have to like Mariah Carey's music to be able to say Mariah Carey is an incredible singer. You don't have to like Mariah Carey. In fact, it might be difficult to like Mariah Carey based on what we've seen of her. But if you listen to her singing, you can't deny she can sing. She's a sensational singer. So just because you don't like the music doesn't mean you go, oh, that's, I have no time for people like that, Anyway, all right. So what else? Obviously, this is a little bit of a different format, but I could tell from the way the song was going, there weren't as many sort of tangents that I'd be like, okay, I better stop and talk about that, but now we're moving into something else, So like I said, it kind of followed a similar sort of track and feel the whole way through. So I didn't really think it was necessary to stop and comment. I thought I'd maybe just give an overview at the end there and sort of see what else I can think about. My Tatiana's crush levels have went up again, and this year, Tatiana, I don't know, you're special. Like, you're very, very special. Her charisma on the stage is just, I don't know, just incredible. Like the way she moves and everything like that. Like, I don't want to sort of fawn over her too much. Like, keep it respectable here. But I mean, wow. It's just nice to see, a strong front woman in this kind of music looking so effortless on stage, and there's a warmth and a sense of humor and all sorts of things that comes across watching her performance. Music's very serious sounding for the most part, and you could have somebody there, delivering similar sort of screaming, growling vocals and stuff with a very intense, but I love the sort of playful nature of her as well as the brutal aspect of her. It's just really dynamic and it's just really nice to watch. It really adds to the experience of her pulling the audience in. I think it really works, despite the music being intense. I know a lot of metal bands put out that sort of intense, sort of aggressive persona as part of the music. And there's from time to time she's showing that, but yeah, I just love the fact that she's got so much going on there. It just gives the stage presence and the experience so much more humanity. Really love it. So yeah, and that outro section actually, in my mind, it started thinking because of the open air thing. You have to fill me in where they're playing. The crowd didn't look that big, really, where they were. The camera work and everything was sensational in this. I really loved that. You know, sometimes live performances, the camera work isn't all that impressive, but was this purposefully shot just to promote the song? Or I mean, I did see like a visual counter there of how long the band was playing or how long they had left or something like that. So I mean, it must be part of a festival, so it must be that. But it's superb sound, superb filming on this. You know, really loved that. Anyway, sorry, I was going to say about the last section of the song. It's not that it reminded me musically of any particular bands, but it made me think of like, if I wasn't looking, you know, they're quite clearly a metal band. You know, if you had the sound turned off, you could tell that from watching them. But if you take that last section, that last part of the song, and remove the visuals, that's the kind of thing that would be on, you know, on stage in Glastonbury, you know, attracting hundreds of thousands of a completely different audience, you know, that may not necessarily even listen to heavy music. What I mean by that is, it's not just music done in style like that, but done as convincingly as that. You know, if you listen, even when Roman went into the sort of little bluesy runs and little jazzy kind of runs, the drumming changed, the bass playing changed, her vocals changed. They were able to just essentially metamorphosize into another band. Not a band trying to do another style, but a band that can do that style. You know, I wouldn't surprise me to see Jinjer just go up on stage and deliver a completely different genre of music and just be like, yeah, we can do that. You know, how many bands can you think of that could like shed the sort of main persona that they've got and go, right, well, we've done a little bit of this kind of style of music, let's just go and play a set of that. They would probably fall flat on their face. Like another band that stood out to me was Opeth. You know, whenever Opeth released brought out Deliverance and Damnation, and obviously because they've been introducing this sort of a lot more of the acoustic nature into their music, you know, they decided to put out an acoustic album, you know, with all clean vocals on it. To me, I remember getting those albums, and I remember getting Damnation. I have to say, you know, before I put the CD in there somewhere. And I got it when it came out. You know, I've been a long time Opeth fan. Like, you know, I can't remember how long ago that was. It feels like ages ago. Anyway, I remember getting that, and there was part of me that was a little bit worried, thinking, you know, that's part of the band's sound, but how's it going to work on its own? You know, for like 10 songs or whatever it was. I would say it's not one of my favorite Opeth albums, but I think Opeth are a band that managed to make that work. You know, to me, knowing. Maybe if that was the first Opeth album I had heard, I wouldn't have thought anything of it. But knowing the other side of Opeth, you know, it kind of felt like I was waiting on that, and it didn't come. Anyway, that's probably a different discussion for another day. But you know, it's just a stream of consciousness, you know, and from watching that, you know, it's prompted me to have memories of that or whatever, you know. So yeah. So thanks for this request as well, you know. I will have to go back and listen to some of the older songs as well, you know, as well as the modern one. I would imagine, you know, with this new album, I guess, it's pretty imminent. You know, it's going to be out very soon, so probably makes sense for me, you know, and to help the channel a little bit, you know, to probably do a wee bit more of their current songs, you know. So maybe when the new album comes out, I would imagine for Jinjer, I'll probably be focused a little bit more on whatever they offer off that album as opposed to the older ones. So, but the older ones are there, you know, so it'll be plenty of time to go back and check them out. If you want to support the channel, maybe head over to the Bandcamp or buy me a coffee. That'll be great. So I appreciate everybody who's been donating and sending their messages. It's blown me away so far. Like, you guys are incredibly kind and generous. Really makes this all worthwhile. So thank you very much. I'll see you next time.